Hey there. Welcome to the Gyro Step, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN, and presented by our pals at Prize Picks. I'm not going to restart again. You can use promo code GYROSTEP, the name of this podcast, all one word, to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. I'm Ty Windisch, joined as always by the cackling Rohan Katti. So when I first did the intro, I called us a prodcast because I was thinking about our friends at Prize Picks, and then I overdid it the other way on the second run through, and I just called our friends Pies Picks. They are Prize Picks. I am Ty. You are Rohan. We are here to talk about Milwaukee Bucks basketball. Once you stop laughing, Rohan, good morning. Happy Tuesday morning. How's it going, sir?
Doing well, and you know what? It's always good to get a good chuckle in.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, the Milwaukee Bucks are 3/4 of the way through their preseason schedule. The NBA season starts next week, Ty.
A week and 2 days, baby. Let's go.
We're here. We're ready. It's about time. I mean, are we ready? Are the Bucks ready, Ty? Who knows? We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But we've been seeing a lot of action. We've been seeing a lot of action from the starters. Everyone plays in the rotation, aside from Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
We've gotten to see them a lot. We have a lot to talk about. But yeah, doing well and happy to be here on this early Tuesday morning.
Same here. Do we want to... Let's start with Giannis and Dame, because I'm excited to talk about A.J. Johnson, who I put in the cron. We're going to talk about Liam Robbins. He did not get enough blocks on the poll I put up. Or did he actually? No, I don't think he had any last night, did he? No. I was going to say, I did not check who actually won the poll, but yeah, he had no blocks, so we're good. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about Giannis and Dame, who have played 2 games together now. Dame has played all 3. Giannis took the first preseason game off. I feel like Giannis started a little slowly in both games. Certainly he did in the third game, but still ended up having a pretty dominant outing against the Bulls. In just 23 minutes, Giannis had 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. Was only 6 of 13 from the field, but I think a few of those felt like there was some contact around the rim that just wasn't called. Like he missed a couple tip-ins at one point that hurt his field goal percentage. He had 4 offensive rebounds as part of the 10 total, but overall I thought looked pretty awesome, including 12 of 16 from free throw on a slightly faster free throw routine, it feels.
It feels a little faster. I feel like the Olympics really forced him to speed it up a little bit.
I just hope he sticks with it. Just go up there and just put that thing up toward the rim. I think that seems to be a better strategy than the old process.
You're sounding like his free throws are just a half-court heave.
I mean, I think that's a better process for him than what he used to do with like the big hitch and just clearly dwelling on it too much, right? Like, I mean, that I think is the biggest thing about Giannis's old free throw routine. His midi looks good too.
It does. His shots look good. Like going back to the Olympic qualifiers, the Olympics themselves, it's been looking good. Let's not dwell. It's something to keep an eye on.
I mean, there is a conflating factor here that may explain this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Bucks Twitter celebrated like a dictator had been overthrown when Josh Oppenheimer departed the team, and early results are good. That's all. I don't want to read too much into it either. Early results are good.
Early results are promising.
It looks like I have a Bucks quarter zip on. Am I taking over?
It looks like you do. You do have one on.
Well, I don't think it's an official. I don't know if this is the one they wear. I got this as a present. It feels like stolen valor. I was telling Rohan before. But I do kind of want to just wear this into Fiserv and see if I can just like walk into the bowels now.
I think you could. I think you could get away with it.
Yeah.
You know enough.
I don't know. Anyway.
We'll see our friend Jim Ozarski there and he'll be like, oh yeah.
There's no way. See, I don't wear this to herd games because I feel like it's like I'm cosplaying. But Giannis, one thing I like, I'll say this. It seems like the Bucks are a part of the offense, setting him up with premier post position a lot more, which I'm a big fan of. And I think, we've had all these discussions about like it's hard to take the ball out of his hands. Giannis wants to handle the ball. He does. He's still amazing at it. I mean, he had a sensational like drive through about 4 Bulls defenders, like underhand drop off, no look to Bobby Portis, where of course Bobby couldn't actually dunk it, but did get fouled on it. He's still great at
A
that.
similar thing happened in the Lakers game where it was successful.
Yeah. He's like, Bobby as a cutter is intriguing. I'm actually excited to talk about Bobby Portis. There's just a lot of Bobby Portis stuff going on right now, I think. But I love the post touches for Giannis, and he's had some really comfortable like fadeaways and some hooks and getting off glass. He's also just had like some dunks when defenders, his man, if there's any sort of mismatch, tries so hard to get the inbounds, and if they get it to him, it's just 2 points. I'm a big fan of this action. I think Giannis posting up like one pass away from Chris has always been a winner, but it feels to me like, well, A, they're doing it with Dame now. I mean, Chris isn't in. B, though, I feel like they're kind of going to it more specifically, and they're getting him a little deeper in the post on some of these seals, which I think has been something we've wanted for years. Do you feel like there's a difference there? Am I over noticing that? And what else do you think about Giannis in the offense right now?
No, I think you're noticing the right things because it seems very more intentional to get Giannis in better positions because we haven't seen a lot of, and this is something that's declined a little bit over the years as well. We just haven't seen the Giannis just looking at the top of the key, just trying to like go 1-on-4. You can just play your box defense and then set up your barrier and then all be good. We're seeing less and less of that as the years have gone on. But I think this preseason in particular, we've barely seen that at all. We've seen Giannis just setting up. Whenever he's running in transition or semi-transition, he's getting to spots in deep post position to take advantage of mismatches. And I think that's just something the Bucks have been trying to prioritize in general because we've been seeing it not only from Giannis, we've been seeing it from guys like Tyler Smith, who I noticed a few times, like, oh, just in transition, oh, let me go get to my spots. A prime example in the Bulls game, just finding your spots against a guy like Javon Carter, friend of the pod, Javon Carter, where you just go and you're just, I know it's bad.
I mean, checking in for the first time, what was that, in the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, $9 million a year gets you a long way in Chicago, but damn.
Yeah, it's not great.
I mean, you look back. I mean, they didn't know what they had in Ayo and Kobe White, but like you knew you had them and maybe had something. Why did they give him that contract?
Yeah, he's a good defensive mentor.
They had Alex Caruso on that team too.
You know what? You got me there.
I think he immediately had no minutes. Like, what was they thinking?
It's a good question.
And now Lonzo's coming back this week. Like, anyway, just a wild. I mean, it doesn't really matter for them. They were going to be bad regardless. But just a wild, like, they immediately gave him that and it aged poorly like the second day.
Yeah, it was tough. But yeah, Giannis being more intentional, getting good post position. I think it's great. Where they're putting other guys in relation to Giannis, I think it's been great. You mentioned Dame just being one pass away, but they've also done like Dame one pass away with Gary Trent Jr., not 2 passes away, but 3 passes away.
Yeah.
Because then Giannis is anticipating the move, like the rotation on defense and throwing kick ahead passes to a Gary Trent Jr. in the corner or something like that. And it's been really nice to watch.
Yeah, unless you have anything else on Giannis, we'll talk about Dame.
I do have stuff on Giannis, just not on the offensive end.
Just a quick note: they love passing to Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. is going to get a lot of shots in transition in the half court. Like Dame, I think especially, but everyone it feels like they relish getting the ball because he puts it up, man. He had 11 field goal attempts in less than 26 minutes. Giannis was the only one who had more because he's Giannis, but like. Trent had more shots than Dame in less minutes, but Dame had free throws, so Dame probably had more shooting possessions. But still, Gary Trent Jr. is going to shoot a lot. He's going to get steals. Like, I'm here for the whole. He didn't even have a good shooting game. He was 4 for 11 against Chicago, but I was still like, man, this is going to be a lot of fun. Like, they're going to find him wide open a lot of times.
Yeah, and I know last time we talked, we were unsure about what was going to happen with Gary Trent Jr. and his injury.
Good. He's fine.
Seems all good. He played against the Lakers. He played against the Bulls. He seems good, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It 100% is. That was tremendous news overall. I'm down to talk about Giannis's defense. Or do you want to talk about Dame first and then?
Sure, we can talk about Dame first.
It's awesome.
Yeah. There's not a ton to say there. I mean, like you look at this Lakers game first off. And Dame just didn't have the best shooting performance of his life. What was he, 2 for 7? Yeah, 1 of 3 from 3. But he's also not getting a ton of run, less than 20 minutes, trying to focus on Giannis as that was his first preseason game. But then you get to the Bulls game and it's like, oh, okay, this is Dame. It's good to see. Still not his best shooting percentages from 3, but still he's making the shots he needs to. One of his 2 3-point makes was a nasty step back in the corner where it's just like, oh, that's such a weird shot to like look at. Like, imagine a Bucks point guard in years past taking that shot. You're like, oh, this is going in.
Part of me still like doesn't believe that they're all like, cause I'm still conditioning myself to be like, oh, that's fine that he does that. Cause any other player, you'd be like, you can't do that.
Exactly. You're like, oh man, this shot, I hope it stays in bounds.
Yeah, right. That's going way off the backboard.
But with Dame, you're like, oh, that's cash. Like, I think especially, you know who Dame reminds me of on these shots? J.R. Smith. Where it's like, it's just such a weird and bad shot where it's not a bad shot, but it's like, that's the best he could get. But it's like, oh, it's Damian Lillard.
Yeah, he actually had a super JR play in the Bulls game where Giannis gets him a wide open feed and he like dribbles into a contested 3 and he missed it. But part of me is like, is he so used to shooting off the dribble that he's just gonna like dribble once even if he's wide open? Like, damn, just let it go. You've
won the 3-point contest, what, 2 years in a row?
Yeah, imagine if he just dribbled them all quick. The funny thing about, like you say, no, he's had a couple games where his shooting isn't that good. Through 3 preseason games, Dame is at 48% from the field, 46.7% from 3, and 90.9% from free throw. Yes, it is.
That can't be true.
He's got 48, 46, 90 splits. Yeah, he's not bad. 14 points in 21 minutes, 5.7 assists, and just 2 turnovers per game, 1.3 steals. Actually, Dame's offense is awesome. I'd say the one thing that I'm not concerned with, but like watching, is I don't think his finishing has been great in some of these games. He was 4 for 4 from 2 against the Bulls. The Bulls also started Adam Sanogo at center, who I will say, offensive rebounding machine, had some nice little push shots. Like some of these young guys for the Bulls really, like I love when a game like this happens, not for the Bucks perspective, but like the young guys are clearly overmatched, but they just go for it. Like they had a really nice first half, or I'd say a pretty good game overall. And quickly on the Bulls, Matas Buzelis is going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Not this year. Not for the Bucks this year. He's going to be good. The way he moves, his size, his frame, his shot looked good. I mean, he's 3 for 9, which isn't amazing, but like for this stage in his career. Also, nice to see EJ Liddell, former like golden boy of the pod before that draft, get to play, knock down a shot. I mean, didn't have an amazing game overall, but just glad to see him healthy.
Yeah. Very good. But yeah, Buzelis is going to be an issue. And I think we talked about this when we did our over-under pod. But like, if he hits, that's going to affect the Bulls. Yeah. Like year one. I don't know about year one, but like, if he hits year one, that's going to affect that win total.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel on my Bulls take after this game. Because I'm like, some of these young guys are good, but also
here's my thing about the Bulls.
Play?
Here's my thing about the Bulls. They're going to be bad.
Well, I mean, not good, but better than their win. I thought their win projection was kind of low. We'll see.
This team is bad. Like I get
White guy, man.
I know they didn't have Kobe White or Levine or Lonzo. I know.
Vooch.
Listen,
Big Vooch, your dinner pal.
Vooch. My dinner pal, Big Vooch. I'll never forget. But
Marcus and Lisa were disgusted by his injury. Did you hear this?
No, I didn't.
It's like a burst tendon or something.
Oh, I thought you meant
ankle ligament. Ankle ligament.
Oh,
no, like, not live. Like from the Olympics. Yeah.
Oh, like genuinely disgusted. I thought like disgusted at him for being injured.
Oh,
like,
no. No, but the nature of Marcus was like, oh my God, like a burst ankle ligament or something like that. Like it sounds pretty gruesome.
That does not sound fun at all, actually.
Some of these injuries, it sounds like an explosion happened.
I think it did.
Well, yeah, it is like, but I mean, like, I don't know. Anyway.
But no, this Bulls team, like, aside from like Levine's probably going to be traded this year. I can't just based on the team around him.
I mean, like the Warriors were offered him for like free just to like be a player on their team, and they kind of said no. So I'm really not sure at this point.
Yeah, maybe. But no, not a whole else on the Bulls. I mean, it's strange seeing him on the Bulls.
Giddey picking a fight with Giannis and the refs backing him up was very annoying.
It was very strange.
Giannis got a flagrant for like a very normal foul on Buzelis as well. This was a poorly officiated game.
Yep. Ready to go.
Yeah,
back to normal.
Yeah. But Giannis and Dame's defense, unless you have something on Dame's offense.
No, let's talk about some defense, because that's what I was mostly concerned about coming out of these games. In this Bulls game in particular, less so the Lakers game. Giannis really wakes up for any LeBron matchup, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just like he turns on a whole other level. But in this Bulls matchup, you just see missed rebounds. You see like closeouts that you should not have to close out. You should already be with the guy. Like, there are so many instances in this Bulls game where there's two guys at the rim. There's Brook and there's someone else. And then Giannis is still going to the rim to try to get a block or something. And then you just see an easy kick out pass to the corner where Giannis was supposed to be. And you're like, what's going on? and this is just part of a larger defense conversation. We're seeing a lot more switching in general. Especially with Brook Lopez, we're seeing that.
Brook on Buzelis tape kind of moved. I mean, Buzelis made it, but I was like, Brook stayed pretty attached, man.
Yeah, that's not what I'm concerned about, really. It's all of these cross matches that we're getting as a result of a switch, and they're not like trying to reset the defense after the fact or anything like that. And then you get guys like Giannis away from the rim where he likes to be, and then that leads to just open shooters because you have a guy in Giannis who likes staying by the rim, but then you have guards who onto him and then cross matched onto him, and then you just get the opposing team will take advantage of those matchups. We saw that at least 3 times in this Bulls game, and it's just something that kind of worries me a little bit.
I think the weak side help drops way too much, especially I feel like Bobby is one of the worst defenders at this, when like they're not really getting anything done. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really affecting the drive because you're on the other side of the rim from the ball, but you're also leaving a corner shooter open. And to me, that is just like, I don't see the point there. It feels to me like clearly they want their defense to be physical, like crowding the paint, take away the rim. And I think that can work. And you're going to give up some threes doing that. I don't want to say I don't mind. I do think they are also a little bit calculated about who's shooting them. Like, I think they invited Giddey to shoot the whole game, and he had a good shooting game, or at least started having a good one. He ended 3 for 4 from deep. So you look at the rest of the Bulls, and by the end of the game, none of them had like a great percentage. I mean, the best one besides Giddey was THT, who was 2 for 5 and 40% from the field overall.
THT, the reaction to THT being 23 years old on the broadcast.
He looks so old.
Incredible. But like, did you hear like Marcus's reaction was like, looks 43.
He does. He does look 43. But yeah, I think they're like, whoever's on the weak side.
Like, there's no way that dude's 2 years younger than me.
Okay, I should have known this was going to turn into something about. You look better than THT, Rohan.
You look way better than THT.
I don't know. In person, I bet THT would be a little more impressive. You know, we're not in basketball attire sweating on this podcast.
We could.
I don't think we should.
It's the full immersive experience.
like the baseball managers. Was that you who tweeted that about Doc?
Yeah,
that'd be like, so funny.
Yeah, like, because baseball managers, they have to wear like the uniforms.
Yeah,
just get Doc in a full jersey shorts combo. I want to see him rocking the freak sixes on the sideline, just like in his little like coach like. What would he even say on the back? They'd all be like 00 or something. No, the coaches in baseball get numbers, don't they?
Yeah, they just get like a random number.
Yeah, they could all be like 85 or something.
Doc could wear his what was his Marquette number?
31?
Then he could wear that. I think you're right. Look at this Marquette man. I think that's correct. That's not retired. I was going to say if it's a retired number.
It is 31.
Yeah, look at you.
Thank you. But that would be so cool. Imagine like Matt LaFleur in a full shoulder pads.
Yeah, football guys would just be uncomfortable. Some of the basketball guys would get a little awkward, I think.
Coach Pop.
Yeah. I mean, any of the,
Tibbs just yelling ice from the side.
Tibbs would look crazy. Yeah. A lot of, like, some of the coaches, like Daigneault or I can't remember Utah's coach name right now.
Will Hardy.
Will Hardy. Some of these guys, like, you can tell they just finished from like running drills, and they're like, they would look okay, normal enough as any grown normal, like any adult in a basketball uniform looks a little weird unless they're actively playing basketball.
Spoelstra.
Spo, I can't imagine what Spo would look like, to be honest.
No.
I mean, he's like in shape enough, but I feel like his whole demeanor would not mesh well.
That's the thing. It's the demeanor. It's like the facial expression. Oh
Rick
my
Carlisle. Yeah, I'm glad they don't do that.
That'd be so funny.
But the defense.
Yeah.
So I don't hate the idea. I mean, it reminds me of what they did against the Thunder. That game I always go back to where like they really just took away the paint. They were really physical. And I know Marcus and Lisa, especially Marcus, talked about. Also, by the way, first broadcast with those two again, that felt like coming home.
The Lakers game was.
Oh, I thought that was on national TV too. I missed that. I had to catch up on that one.
It was NBA TV, but it was also on Bally.
Oh, see, I think I got a replay of it. And I think I got the NBA TV broadcast. Watching Sam Mitchell freak out, but apparently it was a joke. We don't even have time to go.
It was definitely a joke.
I know. I'm with you on that. I think they're leaving shooters a little too open. Like, I think, especially like the weak side farthest from the ball, like just stay closer to your shooter, Bobby Portis. You're not impacting the shot. And Giannis has always been. This is always like one of the quiet issues with the Bucks trying other things defensively outside of like Giannis as the roamer by design, because Giannis just roams whether it's designed or not sometimes, and that can make it hard to do a defense. But I think their fours are like the biggest issues right now. Giannis and Bobby are just like kind of wandering away from shooters at the moment. But I think it's okay generally to be willing, especially when you calculate who's going to be the shooters, right? Like, you know, let's not wander away from Klay Thompson, but if Grant Williams gets a couple shots, he has a good preseason. He had a good preseason. You get my point.
Yeah.
Let's know who we're leaving open. You can do that. You can play a defense like that. It's really hard. And I think the Bud defense proved this. Like, if you never get at the rim, it's hard to win, even if you're getting some threes. Their problem to me is they're not rebounding well enough. That's the real issue. Yeah. Like the Bulls had I think in the first, like they had like 8 in the first like 10 or 14 minutes. They had 13 total offensive rebounds. And there's a lot of
I saw 7 in the first quarter.
Yeah. I saw people jump into like, oh, it's Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez can't rebound. Brook Lopez is getting pulled to go help on the drive every time. Brook Lopez had 4 blocks in this game. I'm not sure the Bucks rebounded any of them. Everyone needs to rebound their position. That's their biggest issue. No one else is boxing out. Sometimes you also see Brook is like boxing out the opposing center and the damn ball just bounces there and someone's able to go get it on the other team. Like, everyone needs to jump up and grab more rebounds. Giannis had 10. Bobby ended up with 8. I think this got better after the start, but I thought the positional rebounding was really bad in the first quarter. I also think there is a conflating factor here. I mean, the Bucks didn't have blinders on. They were aware that they were going up against the Josh Giddey, Adam Sanogo, Chicago Bulls in the preseason, and I think the third quarter starters defense looked a whole lot better than the first half starters defense. I think they got maybe chewed out a bit, maybe wanted to go prove something. I'm glad they did go back out for that third quarter. But overall, they've always, I think, let up too many offensive rebounds. I think that's going to be a focus here, especially like from Giannis, the guards, and whether it's Prince or Chris. You got to be getting those rebounds, especially if Brook's able to alter the shot. I mean, that should be a win as a possession. And it's not, obviously, if you don't get the rebound.
Yeah, absolutely. There were just too many lazy rebounding opportunities in that first half where you just see it's almost a lack of energy and effort.
Jason Kidd's aging super well.
I wouldn't say that.
No.
But imagine him in the uniform. Like, I don't think it would... He's got the glasses now, and it's just like...
Yeah, anyone who wears glasses, it would be a little... You have to get rec specs.
Yeah. Plus, like, it's always... We don't like Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
But just too many lazy rebounding opportunities where I think Sanogo just came in the middle of, like, 3 guys for a Bucks offensive rebound where neither of them were just waiting... Or all of them, were just waiting for the ball to bounce to them rather than going and getting the ball. Like, sometimes it's just like, hey... You got Taurean Prince on your team now. He'll tell you all about rebounding. Like, you got to go.
He hasn't yet.
He has to. He has to. For anyone that's concerned, there's a famous post-game interview of him at Baylor, where he's just like, someone asked him about rebounding, and he's just like, "Well, the shot comes off the rim. I go up, 2 hands, go get it."
The unfortunate context was they got out-rebounded by like Yale or something and lost in the NCAA. And so the question was, how does Yale out-rebound you? And then Taurean Prince with the famous, A rebound, you go up 2 hands, grab the ball. Taurean Prince only had 4 rebounds. Taurean Prince, go up with 2 hands and grab the ball a little bit more, please. He had no rebounds throughout the first quarter, I think.
I thought he wasn't the worst defender.
Who was the worst defender?
Probably Giannis.
Yeah. Giannis was... We always said Giannis doesn't have another mode, and he still like dove out of bounds and stuff. There's definitely
so unnecessary, by the way.
I know.
Like, you just gave them a free basket for nothing.
He thought he could get it to Brook. I felt that. I don't think it was. He just couldn't. He couldn't do it. But I mean, Brook was right there. I saw the intention.
But also, just let it go out of bounds.
Whose was the other one? There was a worse one that got saved. Was that Bobby?
Probably.
I want to have an honest Bobby Portis. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But I think Giannis was the worst offender when it comes to rebounding. But also, I mean, it could be Taurean Prince. It could be a little of GTJ. It just... That sounds weird. I have to put so much effort into saying that. I'm just going to say Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, I feel like on pod, I'm going to call him Gary Trent Jr. When I'm typing, I do GTJ though. But yeah, it sounds weird to say out loud.
Yeah, you have to like think about it because you don't want to mix up your G and your J.
Yeah, and like G and T rhyme. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's not a great acronym to say out loud.
No,
but there were a couple opportunities for Gary Trent Jr. to do it. I mean. I think Giannis was probably the worst offender in that. But again, like Giannis is a guy who's going to get a lot of rebounds anyway, but still.
Yeah.
I know rebounding is more of a team stat than an individual stat, but some individuals need to step up.
Yeah, and the team, I think almost everyone does. I think Brook could be better too. I'm not saying Brook was perfect. It's not all on him when he's always the help defender going to alter or block shots. Like, at that point, then everyone else needs to step up and rebound. Like someone needs to slam their body into the center to stop them from just going and getting it because it's pretty much impossible to go alter a driver's shot and box out your man. Like that's been their biggest issue is Brooks helping so much and then the opposing center gets to get loose and then no one is going to stop them from getting rebounds. I will say there is an energy and effort thing here. And like I remember saying in the first half in our GSPN Discord, the link, you can find that and more, including our GSPN premium subscription at gspn.info. Like, I remember seeing this team, they had so many bad defensive games last year against like the Wizards, and then they would play like the Celtics, and they looked suddenly so much more competent. So I do think like there's a symptom here too of just like these old guys are not trying hard against bad teams.
Yeah, it is the preseason.
But I think that's part of this.
Yeah, it is the preseason. There's not too much you can really ask for in terms of like, oh, I want these guys to be full energy, full effort, full max.
We got it in the third quarter.
We did. We got it for a bit.
I was glad they did that. I know there's a lot of like, oh, don't play anyone because there was the scare with Trent Jr. I kind of like that. I mean, maybe it was the player's idea. I could certainly see, though, Doc kind of egging them on, like, you guys got to show me some real defense here. And again, the guys ended up playing, like, everyone less than 30 minutes. They're averaging 20-some minutes. Like, I'm never that concerned about an extra 5 minutes if you're talking about a relatively low load overall. You know, I think it's a lot, like 22 versus 27 doesn't move me, But if it's like 35 to 40, that would be a little more concerning. And also, they've been off for so long. I kept thinking this game was going to be like a day or two earlier. It took us forever after the last one. They have another 2 days off before the final preseason game. Who knows if anyone will play in that one. And then there's a week off to the regular season. So I was fine with the guys playing a little more and kind of getting to get some redemption in a way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is you need these opportunities to mesh. You had your 4 days in California, but that's it.
Dude, they loved Rondo. Rondo's coming up every 5 minutes.
Yeah, they really did love Rondo.
They're begging for him to come back out. Although maybe Doc gets to take one more flight down to Cali to finish recruiting Rondo. Maybe that's the plan.
Team playing it all by himself. Just go there.
Yeah,
Trust
Rondo's
me,
guys. Rondo's like, oh, I'm ready, Doc. I'll fly up there. Doc's like, no. I got to come get you.
No. Here's the thing. It's going to be like Rondo's like wedding reception in the U.S. for those who couldn't make it to Italy. I think it's like, no, guys, this is the final recruiting trip. I promise.
Yeah.
I promise. It's like, wait, I think I got an invite. I think this is a reception. No,
Rondo's
guys.
at the Catalina wine mixer? I better go.
Guys, do you want him or not? I could just call him, but it's better in person. You all know this.
You got to close the deal in person. Worked with Gary Trent.
Yeah. He's got to be in a happy mood, surrounded by his friends and family.
Yep. That's the number one place to recruit someone.
What a time. Do you want to talk about Bobby Portis? Or should we talk about something else?
I want to talk about a lot of things. First, I want to talk about our friends at Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where all you do is pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. You can run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It's the best way to get in on the action on more than 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, Texas, and the best state, Wisconsin. Prize Picks is also the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. Your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If they leave in the first half and don't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. You can sign up today and, as I mentioned earlier, get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. There's also weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts. Today is Taco Tuesday. Select player projections are discounted up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. And no, you don't have to select LeBron or Jason Tatum. I'm telling you, Jaden Reed rushing yards. Hopefully he's able to play. Is he questionable? I'll have to tune into Tot and get the injury update. I know he got banged up on a kick return. Let's not do that anymore for Jaden Reed. But I mean, maybe Romeo Dobbs more than whatever it's 0.5 or 1.5 touchdowns. That guy got in the end zone twice in his redemption game. A lot of fun Packers plays on Prize Picks. And of course, the Bucks will be back next week, so we can start to mix in those as well. I personally cannot wait. Download the app today and use code Eurostep. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Eurostep to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. I want to talk about AJ Johnson.
Ooh.
This has been my number one. I made it the Cron. This is my number one thing I'm curious about right now. I mean, the overall rotation we can speak quickly to. We're not going to do, obviously, a full hour pod on this. Is he really going to be in the rotation, Rohan?
Is he really going to be he's the backup point guard.
He's playing above Delon Wright right now, I think. I don't think so. That's why I wanted to ask you. I can't see it. The guy is shooting like 22.8% from the field in the preseason. He gets to the rim. He absolutely cannot consistently finish there. 2 for 15 against the Bulls. Did have 4 assists. Did have 3 turnovers. Like, I like the flashes. I like him as a prospect. I just think he should be running pick and rolls with Big AP and Liam Robbins on the herd. I don't think he should be running them with Giannis because he's just not ready yet. And that's okay. I don't think he needs to play in the NBA to develop. I think playing with the herd, actually getting reps, actually in the weight room, that's what he needs right now. And frankly, I don't think he's good enough to get minutes on this contending NBA team at the moment.
No, I don't think he's good enough. I mean, obviously, we've seen a lot of AJ Johnson in these games, and we've seen a lot of good things. The speed, incredible. The way he moves with the ball, so good. And without the ball, so good. There's a lot he needs to work on. Absolutely a lot. There was the Lakers game where his shot was so good, where he was like just making all his threes. Yeah, he was 3 of 5 from 3 against the Lakers, but still in that game, 5 of 12 overall, he cannot make a shot at the rim. He can't.
Yeah.
I could think that's just a Bucks point guard curse right now. But
he couldn't believe it after like his second to last miss in this game. Like he was like grabbing his head in the fourth quarter. I think somebody like Big AP came and tipped it in, but he's just like, come on.
Yeah, it was tough. Oh, Big AP with that poster dunk though.
We're going to talk about the centers. I mean, everyone was ready to crown Liam Robbins as the two-way, and I would too. I'll say why. But Big AP's had a couple of good games in a row too.
He's had some games. But AJ Johnson, he's not ready to play. I think you put it well. He just needs a lot of reps with the herd and maybe some garbage time with the Bucks.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, okay, here's the thing. I understand why. I was about to say I don't understand why he's playing. So obviously, I understand why he's playing so much right now. But I don't think that's something that's going to translate to the regular season at all. The one thing I'm a little confused about is we haven't seen Delon Wright really as a backup point guard for this team yet, which is a little bit strange considering he's going to be the backup point guard for the regular season. You think?
I think
he should.
I think. I mean, I just, I've seen some concern, like in our Discords where Delon Wright is washed. I just think
we haven't seen him do what we want.
That's my. I don't think they've asked him to do anything, and part of that I think is just like yeah, we know what Delon Wright can do. He was the first guy they signed. Like I don't think that they're gonna go from. Remember this. This is the first guy, night of free agency. Not saying that he was their number one target. Like you can't really go to Gary Trent Jr. night one of free agency when he's hoping to get like $10 million a year and offer him.
He's hoping to get
$3 million. Yeah, whatever. But still, Delon Wright was their guy out of all the guys who were potential like vet minimum dudes that first wave where they went to him first. I don't think after seeing him, in these little feet, like barely doing anything in preseason because he wasn't asked to, or camp or whatever, that they're like, yeah, we're just out on Delon Wright. I don't think that. I think he's going to be the backup point guard. I think they know he knows what to do. And oh my God. He made like history. He had an 11 trillion, almost 12. He had no stats.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh my God, he did.
He was 18 seconds away from a 12 trillion. Pure cardio. 0 for 0 from all field goals, no rebounds, no assists, no steals, no blocks, no fouls, no turnovers, no points. That is that might be a record, dude. I mean, they talk about if you have like 3 minutes and you have no stats, that's like kind of like a lot.
What was the famous Tony Snell?
I think Snell had like a foul at least. He had more minutes for sure. I mean, Tony Snell was
it was 28 minutes. I'll look up the box score.
But almost a 12 trillion here for Delon Wright. But I just think they know he knows what to do. Like, I'm not out on Delon Wright because he's not playing in preseason when they're trying to see what this rookie can do and just give him like a valuable opportunity to like play with Giannis, where I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see. I'm not saying it's impossible that he actually plays. I mean, clearly they're playing him right now. But I think that Delon Wright will play over him in the regular season. I think it's cool that he's getting an opportunity to do this. I just personally don't think it's going to carry over much, but we'll see.
Tony Snell took 2 shots in that game and had a foul.
Yeah, exactly. So the no stat in nearly 12 minutes is kind of incredible.
What a starting 5.
Oh boy.
Delly, Snell, Thonmaker, Michael Beasley, and Giannis.
Giannis deserves more financial compensation.
Chris Middleton off the bench.
Oh, was that one of the teach him a lesson games?
I don't know.
Or maybe an injury thing? I don't know.
Because he played 24 minutes.
Yeah.
God, Brogdon, Jason Terry, Greg Monroe, John Henson, and Chris
the fact
Middleton
that they
off
had,
the bench.
Yeah, the fact that they had
that bench should have been the starter.
Delly, Snelly, and Beasley starting, and Brogdon and Chris off the bench is insane.
That's Jason Kidd basketball.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, let's get Shabazz in the starting lineup.
Hey, I'll say Rashad Vaughn got 3 minutes, but we didn't see any Spencer Hawes or Mirza.
Oh God.
Fears of the Mirza, baby.
Fears of the Mirza. But I think we are in agreement. Like, I'd be surprised. Yeah. I'd be pretty surprised if we saw real AJ Johnson minutes night 1 against the Sixers. I mean, I think Doc likes his vets, but clearly, like, he also takes a liking to some rookies. I think the way that Doc is talking about him and like how they're coaching him up and, trying to find the balance between overcoaching him and letting him learn and make the mistakes. Like, my thought on hearing this was, God, when's the last time a Bucks rookie had this kind of support from their coach, at least publicly?
Man, Dante?
If even then. Bud just wasn't loud. Bud just didn't talk, man. Like, for all the strengths and everything of Bud, like, Dante played and, like, was put in a good position, but, like, Bud just wasn't the kind of coach who would go to the media and be like, yeah, we're coaching him up, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like,
no, yeah, you're right. I'll tell you what, that Suns offense looks good.
I have not gotten to watch it much, but I'm excited to.
It looks clean. It's night and day from Vogel to Bud. But it helps I wouldn't say that. It helps that they got a real point guard.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of stuck with the roster in a way like the Bucks were last season as well. So it makes sense, but Yeah, Ryan Dunn's shooting threes. Don't feel great about that.
Ryan Dunn's been one of the best rookies. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. And Oso, my guy's been killing it. Man, I might have to be like the Suns might be my Western Conference.
So, yeah, your second team. That's crazy that they played, like, the Bucks beat them in the finals. And I feel like there's probably 5 teams out west I like less than the Suns. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like that that did not become a rivalry at all.
No. In fact, I think it was just gained a lot of respect. I mean, given there's only one player left from that team, so.
Yeah, and I think if they still had CP, I would like them less.
Yeah. But no, it's just Book. He's the only one for like 2 years now. It's crazy.
And I always respected Book. Who else do you want to talk about? Bobby now?
Yeah, let's do Bobby. Because I feel like last week when we talked about Bobby after the first preseason game, we are like, oh, just the classic Bobby, a lot of empty calories. Great shooting performance, but also like a lot of left to be desired on the defensive end. He might just be the greatest shooter in the league this year. Is that what we're on?
Empty calories player.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis. 6 minutes, 20 seconds, 1 for 1 from the field. Missed 2 free throws, both of his pair. Minus 17 in the first quarter. He came in and they just got obliterated immediately.
It was so fun.
It's not all on Bobby, of course, but my God, like they just have these runs where they start off nice and then immediately get smacked when he's on the court.
It's really unfortunate because he has had an incredible offensive output. Like at that point, it's tough to say that it's really empty calories because he's providing so much of a scoring punch for this team when they need it. But also, like you gotta help retain that lead that you got by putting up those points by not letting them just walk to the basket.
So the Bucks net ratings when different players are on. Basically, the whole bench is a disaster. Bobby Portis minus 11.7 in the preseason. So again, this is not very much. For reference, the starters, Trent Jr. is the best at plus 19.5. Dame is the worst starter at plus 13.5. So basically, all the starters' minutes, they've been great. Like they've killed. Pat Connaughton, who's played a bit with the starters, 0.8, minus 0.8. So they've barely lost PC's minutes so far. And then Bobby's actually the next best bench player. Everyone else is minus 20 or worse. Their all bench lineups have been pretty disastrous. I think some of that is, again, Delon Wright's playing, but they're not really having him do anything. So it's AJ Johnson handling the ball with a lot of these groups. And he's just like just depositing the ball on the rim and then to the other team every possession, more or less, which is not very helpful. Also is turning the ball over quite a bit, I think. Not too much, but had some turnovers. But yeah, to actually talk about Bobby's performance, I don't know, man. The shot looks good. I will say one thing I've really liked is his passing. I think he has made some really nice passes in each of the games, although
he's looking to pass more. Like it's not even just like the passes themselves. It's
1.3 assists per game.
But some of them are like he has a couple potential assists and some hockey assists. I think he's looking to pass more than he has in previous years.
In transition, it stands out the most.
Yes, absolutely. And his shot genuinely looks a little quicker.
Yeah.
Like lethal shooters got in the gym. I saw the craziest video the other day, by the way.
Oh boy.
It was a lethal shooter video and it's like, stop. It's just him talking to the camera as someone's rebounding to him. He's like, stop leaving comments that I can't shoot from the corner. And it's just him shooting from the corner. It's like, bro, no one's saying anything.
Had one. Oh my, I saw him shooting one where he's yelling at the cameraman because there was like, I don't remember. There was like 500 nails, and he's shooting like half quarters, and he made like 4 in a row before he hit a nail. And I was like, impressive. What is? It is super impressive, but it's not what Bobby Portis needs, man.
It's not at all what Bobby Portis needs. Hey,
he's shooting 0 for 1 against Chicago. He's shooting 81.8% from 3 still this preseason. Not bad.
Incredible. Hey, we haven't tested out his half court heaves yet. Maybe he's been saving that.
Yeah.
Lethal shooter, man. What a guy.
What a character.
But no, Bobby Portis, it's just I don't know. Is this like, take this preseason again? This is a noisy sample that should not be said to mean anything, right? But would you take this version of Bobby Portis over last year's version of Bobby Portis?
Yeah, I'd say definitely.
Yeah, one, because the offensive output is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and the passing, the defense is
bad.
Same.
Yeah, I think it's not worse. I just think they still don't know what to do with him. It feels like.
Yeah, I feel like you almost have to play him at the 3. I'm like serious though.
I know. I think you play with the 4. He has to switch. Like whenever you put him in space and he has to like make these decisions, he drifts too far one way or the other. Whether it's drop or whether he's like sagging off of a shooter, like he's never in intuitively the right spot defensively. When there's anything like when there's a large area for him to cover, like I don't think zone would be good either. But I think if he switches, you just say like stand next to this guy and stay between him and the rim, unless you switch and then do it with someone else. I still think he can kind of do that, but the stuff that like the way he's like playing kind of almost in the Giannis role, like as the 4 who's kind of like helping toward the rim, it just doesn't work, man.
No, it doesn't. That's why I'm saying playing with the 3. So at least you have 2 other guys who are like, hey, maybe we can do something.
Or just play him like he's a 3, even if he's at the 4.
Yeah,
like you're not playing the Giannis roamer. Just stand next to the guy. That's it.
Just don't be the roamer, you know?
Yeah. Like let Dame be the roamer. He's coming up with 2 steals per game in the paint right now.
I'll tell you what, Dame's defense has been pretty good.
It's fine. People who talk about his defense still like, oh, how are they going to cover for Dame? Dame's covering for other people.
He hasn't been the issue.
Yeah,
at all.
He's been really good. He has long arms.
Yeah, same with Gary Trent.
Yeah, Gary Trent is a plus. Like he's fighting around screens. I think I got distracted mentioning this earlier. Marcus talked about it on the broadcast. They're like the physicality is back on defense and you could really feel it. And the Bucks are definitely leaning in. Like Taurean Prince and Gary Trent are just straight up pushing guys on every drive and it's not getting called very often. Like I think real hoops are finally back and I can't wait. And the Bucks are certainly trying to be proactive and lean into it, which again, that Thunder game, like the Thunder were just shook. The Bucks were just pushing them around and OKC wasn't ready for it. I think that kind of showed in the playoffs as well. But yeah, Dame's defense like perfectly fine. Not very concerned at all. If he gets, again, if there's like a true forward on him in the paint, like that guy's going to get a clean look. Obviously, that's true. But I mean, that's not a big concern for me.
No, it's not. It's not a super big concern for me.
Yeah. So I think defensively, I mean, if they get this ironed out and actually work a little harder, and if they rebound, I think they're going to be fine defensively.
I think it's still going to be a little bit of a work in progress compared to what we were hoping it would be.
Yeah, probably.
But maybe that just comes with seeing Delon Wright in a more utilized role. Maybe that's Taurean Prince getting minutes, not with the starters and with the bench unit, like because he's stepping into the Chris Middleton starting role. Maybe that's going to shake things up a little bit. Like there's still so many different things we can.
That's a great point.
Remains to be seen. Yeah,
that's a great point. That I don't think the rotation is probably going to work the same in the regular season either. Like they're basically almost doing hockey lineup switches at some points. Just like, all right, young guys go in and play. Like I'm sure we're going to see a bit more staggering. Also, of course, I mean Chris Middleton's presence is so helpful on offense. It will actually help their defense because they're going to be able to set up in the half court way more. Mm-hmm. I mean they're not. I don't think they're going to be guardable when they have Trent, Dame, Chris, Giannis, all on the court. Like, I just think it's going to be silly. It's already kind of silly. Again, they've been great with just the starters on now, but with Chris as well, it's going to, I mean, Taurean Prince has done well. Chris is just obviously a much different level of offensive player.
Oh, absolutely.
Can I take a Pat Connaughton victory lap?
Yeah, you can.
He's playing every night. If you're mad at it,
it's maybe not a victory lap yet.
Not yet.
Still remains to be seen.
Not a full. I mean, just on not saying he's like obviously he hasn't proven he's having a great season yet, but I mean on the concept of like he's won a spot.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to play every game, and I've like late last week, like after the Lakers game, I saw someone like on our YouTube was like, or maybe it was before because it was a YouTube comment, but like. Pat C's playing every game, like over these other guys. Like, he's playing better than all the young guys. Like, Straight up, he's just been better than all of the young guys they've asked to play. AJ Green had a nice fourth quarter last night, but overall is shooting 30% from the field and 30% from three this preseason. Pat C in 3 games, 53.8% from the field, 37.5% from deep, a little over 2 rebounds, a little over 2 assists per game, 0.3 turnovers, which is 1 turnover across the 3 games. Rock solid. Still not a lockdown defender, just in the right spots. Gets beat sometimes, but
just a savvy vet.
A savvy vet. As the 3 looks good. I mean, he actually, it would have been like probably 45% for the preseason. He missed a couple later in the game after a nice start, but he's still a good cutter. He still knows where to be and where to go, which is just a huge advantage over some of these other guys. I think he's going to be in the rotation. I think he's earned it. Like, I'm not going to be mad at it. Dramatic reveal, Rohan.
Ooh. Oh, hey, there we go.
I was planning that the whole time. The 24 is back on the wall for people not watching the YouTube.
There we go. I like
it's back. Yeah.
That's a good reveal.
Thank you. I had to sit a very certain way the whole time.
I respect that.
Thank you. Anything for content.
But yeah, Pat Connaughton, I mean, you can't really argue with the results thus far, right? You can't at all. I mean, we'll see what happens when we actually go to the games, but I think to start off, he's earned a spot.
Yeah. And I know Marcus mentioned Doc said Pat has had a great camp in preseason as well. And then Marcus also mentioned from like being around practice and stuff that Pat is like super vocal and is like asking a bunch of great questions. Like kind of like talking.
Where can I develop?
Yeah. Doc, what do you know about the property market around UC Irvine? No, like about like theory crafting the defense. Like, okay, if this happens, then where should like this person go? Or like, what's the next thing here? And like, clearly he's like, I think always been a good presence generally, like, you know, around the team, if you're not talking about just strictly on court, but it's good to see like that's certainly persisting. I'm here for it, man. I bought the stock. I was laughed at night 1. He bricked his first couple of threes. I'm holding my stock.
There you go.
I'm not feeling good about the CL stock. I need PC to be a good player, or I'm kind of taking a bath here.
I'll tell you what. Happy birthday, CL. It's his birthday.
Is it today?
I think so.
Damn, he got 0 whole minutes to celebrate last night.
I know. Maybe coach was prepping him for his time to celebrate. I think it's his 21st.
Yeah, I mean, 20% from the field, so his age is now higher than his field goal percentage in the preseason.
That's not good.
No. Versus like just talking about the young guys, what do you think the actual rotation is going to be night 1? Let's assume Chris plays, not because we have inside info. I mean, they say he might play Thursday in the preseason game, but just like for talking about the rotation, like assuming Chris is in.
I think it's going to be the traditional 5 starters with Chris.
Yep.
You're going to see Delon Wright. You're going to see Bobby Portis. You're going to see Taurean Prince.
Yep.
You're going to see Pat Connaughton, and I think you're going to see AJ Green.
Yeah, which is outside of Pat, what we would have expected.
Yeah, it was Pat for CL or someone.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about just that 10th spot was really the one up for grabs. To add the context, minutes so far, it's Damian, Giannis, and then AJ Johnson. So I think that's really the wild card. Like, is that actually, he's not going to be third on the team in minutes, but like, is he actually going to play? But I mean, in terms of the young guy minutes, AJ Green is still the leader in that category. He's gotten 15 minutes per game. Tyler Smith has gotten 13. I'll tell you what, his stats also absolutely suck. 18% from the field, 20% from 3. The way he moves on the basketball court, I'm still really excited. Like, I'm excited about both of these rookies. I don't think either are ready to be every night rotation players. I can't wait to see what they look like, though, after a year in like a real basketball facility. No offense to the G League or to the Illawarra Hawks, but just like actually playing, actually on a competent team. I think they're going to be like real contenders to play minutes next season. I will say this. Your guy MarJon had some nice moments last night.
I'll tell you what, man. It's still sad and disappointing, but he had a nice breakaway dunk. That was nice. Yep. He had some moments where it's like, oh, this guy belongs on the court. It's just like, it'd be nice to have seen that beforehand.
I thought his defense has been pretty good this summer league. I think that's maybe been his. I think he's poked some balls loose. Trying to see if he has any 1 steal per game. It looks like averaging.
It's not been bad in the preseason, right? Like his defense, it's been pretty good. It's not like anything extraordinary. Like we're not seeing like an absolute lockdown defense. We're just seeing a guy play well in the team's scheme. Yeah. But he has stood out a little bit above that, which makes me think there's a chance, like an outside chance, because he still can't do anything on offense.
Yeah, he's 4 for 11 from the field combined, has taken 2 threes and missed both. So that is the issue. Like
it's
dribbled into a pretty awkward like pull up, like close to the rim yesterday, where like that probably should have been like a floater attempt or something. But
it was that little push shot where it's just wide open and you just brick it. Like Liam Robbins is standing in front of you, blocking out your defender. Like you just have to make an easy practice shot, my guy.
Yeah,
and just an absolute. And when that happened, I was like, God, he's gonna miss this, isn't he?
I know,
and he did. It's just like that's where
I think I had hope in my heart because he had a couple nice sequences before that, but his thing has always been consistency. I still think it's not there.
I was like, he's absolutely gonna miss this, so I didn't set myself up. Yeah. I wasn't disappointed because I already had that expectation.
Combined 5 steals and blocks this preseason in 39 minutes, so it's active defensively.
I'll tell you what, though,
better than Ajax.
Yeah. Absolutely better than Ajax. It's bad. It's so bad. Like this guy should be thriving going against like 5th string camp guys, right? You'd think. Yeah. No. It's like I don't know, man.
He is.
I was about to go on a long rant, but I just can't.
I'm with you, and I don't know if someone was trying to gotcha me or actually just wanted my opinion. But in response to last night, I tweeted like AJ Johnson super fun, not ready to play, and I got a tweet like is Ajax ready to play, or like do you think Ajax? I'm like not really. No, I really don't. I've been low on him all summer, and he has not proven me wrong across summer league or preseason. And you're still seeing the like, oh, it's not a good environment for him or whatever. He's got to be able to do something. Even if it's not a great environment.
Anything.
And he has not done anything productive. 3 for 13 from the field. 1 for 3 from deep. He made his first 3 of preseason last night. You mentioned earlier, like, Bucks players hitting the backboard. Like, when he rises up on a corner 3, I'm like, I have no idea where this thing is going. This could hit the top corner. This could go anywhere. He did make it. Credit to him. Has not drawn a free throw yet. Has 11 rebounds. Has 2 steals. That's okay, fine. Not a ton for that, but whatever. 2 assists to 7 turnovers. Bad. He actually is, second among preseason Bucks in turnovers. AJ Johnson has 1 more in 28 more minutes.
That's just,
it's he depressing. Does not know what to do with the basketball at all.
No.
I mean, he's supposed to, could he be their backup point guard? I'm going to tell you, no, because he doesn't know what to do. He has the ball in his hands. He's terrified every time.
He genuinely does not. It's almost like he's regressed.
Yeah,
do you feel
100%
that?
He has. Yeah.
He's. It's not like we're not expecting him. He hasn't taken the leap that we'd expected him to take. He's gotten worse.
Yeah. Maybe it was just that the fact that he only was really playing with like starters, like he just had to do so little. He just didn't have the opportunities. I mean, we talked about it last season though. Like there were times where he clearly didn't really know what to do with the ball and he would never shoot. Like that's still an issue. But I feel like whereas last season he was a lot better at like, all right, I'll turn out of the paint and at least find someone open, or like I'll fly toward the rim and get it to a shooter. Now it's just like, I'm going to just put the ball 80 feet over the backboard and call it a lob attempt. Like the not shoot decisions have like gotten progressively worse.
It's depressing. Like it is. Like you mentioned it when we were transitioning. He looks worse than MarJon.
Yeah. MarJon at least had some good moments. This like preseason plus summer league, Ajax really is not.
Here's the thing about Ajax though, is like you mentioned it. His best moments have come when playing with like starters and stuff and like having him do nothing. When he's playing against these camp guys, it's like, oh yeah, do something, Ajax. He just can't. I think he's overtaxed even in that role. I think he'd look better in maybe that AJ Johnson role we've seen this preseason, where it's just like he's coming in playing with some starters, playing with some bench guys.
But they're giving AJ Johnson the ball in those spots.
That is true.
Like, I think that's why he's getting that. Like, because he's shown that he can at least do something with it. I mean, again, we're saying he's not ready either. Like, he gets to the rim and just cannot finish at all. He's got to work on that.
Hey, at least he goes to the rim and tries to
at
shoot.
least he's doing something. Like, Ajax, you're just like, what is the purpose here? And again, like, people talk about him like he's this defensive maestro. I just don't think he really is. He's athletic. He's fast. Like, he has not turned that into...
He'll jump passing lanes sometimes. Like, he's good at anticipating and hasn't been shown this preseason at all or summer league. But we've seen that before, right? Like, did this guy get in the... Did he switch trainers or something?
I don't know.
We know Giannis switched trainers, but like, did he? Is he getting in with Lethal Shooter or something?
I mean, I don't even care that much about the jumper. It'd be nice.
Is it like Drew Hanlon's like, hey, I'll help Giannis, but like Ajax, like you have to sacrifice Ajax to help Giannis or something?
I mean, I'm sorry, Ajax. I'm making that trade though.
Making that trade.
I'm sorry. I hate to say it. He's only fouled twice in 33 minutes. I guess that's
good. That's a positive.
Yeah.
But also, I think I would take the fouls for him being an aggressive defender.
Yeah, at least do something. He's just got to do something. I hate players where you're like, what's the purpose here? That's my least favorite kind of player. Figure out what you do.
Yeah.
And to your point about like he needs to play with the starters, listen, I think that's better for him. I don't think it's better for the starters.
No.
Because he's just a player right now you can totally ignore on offense, and he's not making enough of an impact defensively to overcome it. Like, they just have better options now with some of these wings they've signed. And I think AJ Green, I think he has not had a good preseason. I still think he is in pole position just because, despite the shooting numbers being out what they are, look at some of the great reads AJ Green makes on like the 2 pick and rolls per game they run for him. I mean, like AP's big dunk last night, a beautiful shot fake pass over top to the wide open. Like, he still makes these reads where you're like, oh, he's such a smart passer. Every time he throws a pass, I'm like, man, AJ Green really he's competent with the ball in his hands. And that is not something you could say about any of the Bucks' other young guys. Like, they are turnover machines or they're doing nothing.
No, 100%. AJ Green, man, like, he hasn't gotten a ton of run this preseason, but it's mostly because Doc's just like, I know what you do.
I think he's still in pole position to be like the young guy. Again, maybe he's not even a young guy anymore.
I could see him like, hey, you need to be a spot starter. I got you. Like, I think he has that trust. So like that's there. That's rock solid. Where it's like, you don't need to. We don't need you to play an insane amount. You know.
Yeah. So I think the rotation then, obviously the starters, and then from big to small, Bobby, Prince, Pat, AJ Green, Delon Wright. Yeah, and that's 10. Yeah. I think that's pretty solid to me at this point. Again, the big variable is the rookie point guard, but I don't see it.
I don't, but it's also like, again, we talked about this earlier. I'm not going to tread back on it, but it's like, Delon Wright, please. Like, I mean,
do something.
He's just a trusted vet, though, so I'm not worried about like transitioning him into that role because he's done that for like a decade.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so if you're listening, like, oh, Delon Wright does nothing too. I agreed this preseason, but he just has so much more of a track record of doing things.
The cachet is there,
yeah. Whereas Ajax just really doesn't. I mean, like
how long has Delon Wright been doing this?
I remember he was drafted to the Raptors in Dwayne Casey, so probably like
15, 20.
I was gonna say 14, 15. So coming up on a decade here.
Well, 15, 16. So
yeah.
So this is year 10. Then?
Yeah, this is probably the 10th year then. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're old. I mean, when they're saying the years for everyone and like all the Bucks main guys are above 10 now. What is this, year 12 for Giannis or 11?
I think it's year 12.
12, I think? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's bad.
And I will say, I've seen this comp. Oh, Giannis had to play through it, so AJ Johnson does too. When Giannis Antetokounmpo was on the Bucks, they had nothing else going on, folks. They had nothing going on.
Did you read that starting lineup?
And that was a much better team than the first one. You know, they have Giannis, Dame, Chris, Brooke. Like, there's just, you have to prioritize. Getting the most out of AJ Johnson is not the goal for this season. It would be great if it happens, like, great if he develops. Let's be honest. This team is focused on the next 1 to 2 years at all times for very, very good reason, and that's how it should be. You're not maximizing Giannis's window here if you're like, we need this rookie to play every night.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's not the goal of the season at all. It'd be cool if he does get some development opportunities, but that should not be prioritized when making rotation decisions because this is a team that needs to contend for a title.
It's the Wisconsin Herd maybe can contend for a title with AJ Johnson.
Oh my God.
Best of both worlds.
It could be the dual titles.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened?
I think it has.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm trying to maybe not. I know at one point the season that got canceled, 2020, the Herd and Bucks were like both top of the league, but obviously the Herd didn't finish, and the Bucks.
Hey, they were the champions that year.
Don't like that banner because they did. Then they had a bubble and the Herd didn't go, so it's like. Although that might have been the next season. If I don't remember, I don't think it was for whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think it was the next season.
Yeah, I think that was the next season. Oh, I got the sunlight now.
Oh, you're just a ray of sunshine.
My thing is closed. It's just like the sun just powers through it. I got these Walmart drapes and they're just not doing the job.
You blackout curtains?
I clearly do. Because this is just like they're just getting dunked on.
It's just your aura has never been. I think it's a compliment.
This is how I feel when I'm going to talk Liam Robbins.
Oh yeah, let's do some Liam Robbins.
It's a manifestation. So I said earlier, like I don't know if he's clear outplayed Big AP. I think probably so. He does have 5 turnovers in 27 minutes. Liam does. Big AP has 3 in 25.
I'll tell you what though, Liam Robbins can pass.
Liam Robbins can pass. They ran offense through him and it looked really good. Also, that jumper looks a lot better. I know he's still 0 for 2 from 3, 3 for 8 from 2. He's just like, I would like to see him shoot at the rim sometimes, like go to the rim a little more often, but he does a lot of interesting bigs things. And I do think he's a better defender than Big AP. He has 5 blocks in less than 30 minutes. Big AP has yet to record a block. He does have 2 steals, I will say that. But I just want to, like, AP has been in and around the NBA or G League for like 5+ years. He's 29 years old. Give the two-way to the 25-year-old mystery box. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
it could even be an AP. Like
it might be, but like I'd rather just like I think Liam Robbins, because the size is just so alluring. Like we've seen, I think, worse players than this get signed to open roster spots or open two-ways just because you cannot teach that size. I'm just disappearing on YouTube. But I'm like Sephiroth over here. But you can't teach that. And I think he has legit enough skills that like he could get scooped up.
No, I think so. Like he has good passing skills as a big. Like there you go. Oh.
Hold on.
Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
I just have to tilt my monitor 90 degrees. My stats are gone. That's okay. We're at the end.
But yeah, Liam Robbins, he has the passing ability. He has that shooting. He can defend in space, which I think is important. Like he has the tools and he's just younger and just more promising. Yeah. Like sorry to Pasečņiks, but like you have a promising career in Europe you can go back to.
I think Pasečņiks has played better than I expected to a certain degree, but I'm just
I think he did in the Bulls game, the last couple.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, he had some nice finishes late against the Lakers, but I know the whole game wasn't as good. Yeah. Like, I think he's better going to the rim, which maybe is what they're looking for from the G League center, basically. Yeah. But I'm a big Robin. I want to see more. No,
the Bulls game was by far AP's best game.
Yeah.
But I still think, even though it wasn't Liam Robbins' best game, I still think the overall, like, and plus Liam Robbins played before.
I was going to say, as an observer of many things, I did observe that Liam got first crack in that game. So I wanted to note this on the pod. The Herd have traded in the last week or two for Liam Robbins' G League rights, which makes you think that the plan at least was just to waive him from his camp deal and, have him be a full-time Herd player, which... So for the refresher, and there was this whole thing with Sam Merrill. I don't know if we talked about this on the pod.
We didn't.
Like that doesn't mean the Bucks get him. So if Sam Merrill ever gets cut, he's an active Cavalier. Rotation. That doesn't like the Herd. Oh, and I guess he goes to the Bucks now. If he ever gets cut from the NBA and signs with the G League, so you sign with the league, and then if someone has your rights, you either report there or ask them to trade your rights somewhere so you can go play there. So the Bucks are basically saying, okay, if Sam Merrill ever gets cut, we want him back on the Herd, which I don't know. I mean, he's like a real rotation player, whatever. They got Liam Robbins rights. So that's more pertinent because so that means, Liam Robbins gets the Exhibit 10 bonus. So if he gets cut, he gets $50K to report to the Herd, and now the Herd have his rights so he can play there. I don't think that precludes them from also signing him to a two-way, right? Like it's kind of a waste of resources from the Herd, but also... if the Bucks are interested in him as a Buck, that just overrules whatever the Herd are doing with their little G League assets, right? Like it's a mountain of difference in terms of like priority of, oh, we traded away the rights to Gary Clark for this. What do you mean? Like, no one cares. So I think at least like when they did that, the plan was for him to just be a Herd player. I think him playing before AP does matter, and we'll see what happens in this last preseason game. Like, I think there is a shot he wins the two-way spot.
I think so too. I mean, we'll see, yeah, like you said, we'll see what happens with this final preseason game, and what we don't know what's going on, in the practice facility and stuff like that. But I'm very impressed with Liam Robbins.
I love his flow too.
I don't.
No?
It's like he's cosplaying as an Australian.
But I just
like, dude, you're from Kenosha.
What?
Isn't he?
What?
Liam Robbins?
Did I forget this?
Am I stupid?
No. I think we talk about this and I just totally forgot. No. Oh, he was
from
born
Waukesha.
He was born in Waukesha,
not Kenosha. Yeah.
But he went to high school in Davenport, Iowa.
Yeah,
and then went to Drake, Minnesota, and Vanderbilt. But Wisconsin native. I just like...
You're the one who told me this.
I know. That's why it's hilarious. I think I would have remembered it if he also played high school there.
Yeah, fair.
So, like, I don't know how much time he actually spent. I hope to catch up with him with the Herd one way or another.
But yeah,
I forgot what I was going to say.
The flow, I'm not a big fan.
Oh, I like when guys stand out a little bit.
That's fair.
I mean, he's a white player, so kind of by default will, but, just different. It's nice someone to be different.
Yeah, I'll give him credit for trying. How about that?
Yeah.
Can't say the execution is my favorite, but you know what? Props for trying.
Oh, that's fair. I'm on board, but I agree to disagree here.
Sure.
People, I think we can go with you as the one who knows style more.
No, let's not say that. I think you're a very stylish guy, Ty.
Thanks. Yeah, okay. Do the outro.
Okay.
Not buying it.
What? Why? What?
I'm wearing basketball shorts right now with this pullover. That's a work from home secret.
Listen, I'm just wearing some plaid pants, like some sleep pants. Like that's secret behind the pull behind the curtain. Like that's what's going on. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for listening to this episode of the Gyro Step here on Blue Wire GSPN, presented by our good friends at Prize Picks. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube. Leave a 5-star rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. And hey, if you wanted to listen to this podcast commercial free and all of our GSPN podcasts commercial free, you can subscribe to our premium subscription over at gspn.info. Bonus content, exclusive pod, commercial free pods, like I mentioned, all that fun stuff. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, tell your friends and family. We're ready for the season. Next week. Not 1 week. It's 1 week and 2 days. But yeah, next week we'll have the season, and we can't wait to take this journey with you. Pod Random. We'll talk to you next time.